Beautiful shot. Should have jumped on him and finished him. And yeah, I feel sorry for the kid.
And then Diego Lopes wants to fight June 29th against Mozart. He wants to fight the Spear against someone like Elena Prime or something.
I love it. I love it. We'll see what happens. Listen, how badass is that kid? How fun and exciting is he? That kid's going to be an absolute superstar. So, listen, when guys say, hey, I want to fight here, there, and everywhere, I love that shit. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Dana, any update going back to Canada at all? Canadian fans are wondering.
Not right here off the top of my head, I can't think of any. No. Yes,
Yeah.
we will, but no. Not right here, right now, off the top of my head.
Yeah. I know you talked about UFC Hawaii for a long time, so it's kind of impossible, but I know that you're looking to go to Hawaii for power shot, but
Yep.
with Max Holloway being such a legend, like, do you feel like you have to bring him to Hawaii?
Let me ask you a question. I have, how many employees do we have now? 550? You think all 550 of my employees don't want to go to fucking Hawaii and do a fight? Believe me, we do. I want to go to Hawaii. Hawaii has been good to this company, good to this sport for a very long time. Max Holloway, I mean, we're talking tonight. The kid went to a whole nother level tonight and he was already a superstar. They don't have the infrastructure for a fight over there. Just, you can't do it.
Even if it's just a little fight night, a cramped little Apex event, like in Hawaii, like, wouldn't that the atmosphere just be off the wall for Max Holloway?
Yeah, but there's more to it than that. There's more to it than just going and doing a little. You're not going to go to Hawaii and do an Apex fight night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might as well fucking stay here and let them fly over here. And it just it doesn't make sense. What were we going to say?
I was going to say Bellator is at Hawaii events.
Bellator could put on a fucking fight in the parking lot. Dude, I can't even believe you just said that. Bellator could, you know, Bellator was here on Friday. Did anybody know that? You media guys. I didn't know it was fucking Friday. They were selling tickets, buy two, get two free. I'm not busting on them, that's a fucking fact. They put out a memo, buy two, get two free. You're having a bad fucking week if those are the memos you're putting out. There were more people in my fucking green room tonight than there were at the fight.
Finally, what do you think of his performance?
Incredible, looked great. The thing you gotta understand about that kid, he's 5-0, fought a guy with 15 fights, and he went out there, he was a fucking 2001 favorite, and looked like it, you know what I mean? He's got a lot of pressure on him right now. He's got, you know, all these expectations, and I think that some of the people feel like he's getting, you know, this preferential treatment. No, we believe in the kid. We think that he's going to be a stud, and we think he's going to be a star. So he's handling this pressure really, really well. You know what I mean? He's got the type of pressure on him that after he wins against the guy who has 15 fights and he has 5, and he finishes them, he says thumbs down. I said, kid, you got to stop putting that kind of pressure on yourself. You just come out and do what you do. Just keep fucking doing what you do. Keep winning. You look great. Block out all this fucking bullshit and noise and yes.
Going back to Amanda and Kayla, would you ever consider doing that fight as a BMF type title fight for women?
Well, if they did it, it would be for the belt. It would be for the championship.
What neither of them hold the title right now, so.
Well, they won't fight right now. I think what Amanda was saying, interesting. Let's see how this plays out. If she wins the belt, then maybe I come back. That's what I read from it. I don't think she was saying, hey, let's BMF this. I think she wants to come back and maybe see if she can regain her title. And then it's one of those things, and she's brilliant. She's brilliant for this because she's already looked at as the GOAT, right? And then you have this scary new woman that comes in and she destroys Holly Holm. Can she win the title? Can she get through Pena and Raquel? And if she does, for her to come back again and then possibly win this fight, it's impossible to deny her.
And there was also a moment where Armin looked like he was punching somebody in the crowd during his walkout.
Yeah, you might not want to hang over the things and grab people when they're walking out. These guys are all fucking hyped up and whatever, and I'm sure we're probably gonna get sued. We'll deal with that on Monday too.
Thank you.
All right.
Dana, right over here.
Hi.
Dan in the back.
Yep, wherever you are, I see you. Yeah, there you go.
Giro Prohashka with a big pop from the crowd and got back in the win column. Obviously, he's still highly ranked. Can you talk a little bit about what your plans may be for him going forward?
I have no clue. You know what? I feel bad for those two. That was the fight of the night until the BMF fight happened. That was another. Let's talk about that fight. Thank you, sir. These poor kids. They went out there and fucking went to war, man. I mean, Rakic looked incredible. He was picking them apart. Prohaska comes back and wins the fight. You know, place is going crazy. Unbelievable fight. That was fight of the night until the insanity happened, you know, for the BMF. So, yes, both those guys looked incredible. They both came out and laid it all out. And I'm happy for Prohaska. He's an absolute set. Plus, talk about leg kicks. I mean, his leg was done. He was done. And he pulls out the win in that fight.
So real quick on Zhang Wei Li. Obviously, she's been on a roll for quite a while now. We know there was a China event that got rescheduled. Is there a possibility we could bring her back to China for an event, or do you see her maybe in the U.S.?
I have no idea. We're working on a bunch of other places that we're going to go this year. I don't know if China is on the schedule yet or not. We're still kind of mapping out the end of the year.
Hey, Robert.
Yep.
Now that Connor Chandler's official, was there any talk about showing like a graphic or video in front of the arena and for the fans? Or was that too last minute?
Yeah, no. That's all internet bullshit. Internet bullshit.
And obviously, Aljamain Sterling made his featherweight debut today against Calvin Kattar. While the fans didn't find it the most aesthetic pleasing, I want to just get your thoughts on his debut at 145 pounds.
Anytime you move up weight and you win, especially against a tough guy like Calvin, and I thought that, here's what I will say about Aljo. I thought that he made Calvin look slow, you know? Not a fan favorite on UFC 300, but moving up in weight, taking on a tough, gritty guy like Calvin is always a good win.
And speaking of fan favorites on UFC 300, I know you've been a part of many great fights and moments. Where do you rank those final 10 seconds between Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje amongst the moments you've seen in person?
The whole fight, let alone the 10 seconds. But the last 10 seconds is the type of Arturo Gatti shit that I always talk about that fight fans love. There's a reason that people love Gaethje and Holloway the way that they do, and that's it right there. When you're a fight fan, that's like a dream. Two guys like that squaring off and facing each other. Broken nose, fucking eye pokes, legs all busted up. Guys way out in head. There's no denying who's, you sit there and go, Holloway won this fight. He says, let's do it. Let's go right in the middle. And they both do it. You'll see a lot of guys that'll go, oh, we're going to go right in the middle. We're going to do this. And then the fight starts. And maybe not. Right? And there's a lot of guys that try to do the, come on, let's go do this. When you have two savages like those two that go out and just do it, it's just, you couldn't script that. If you saw it in the movie, you'd call bullshit on it.
Last one for me, I see you're wearing the UFC PI Mexico shirt. They just announced the UFC Academy over there with 19 athletes from Mexico and Latin America representing. So how big is that for the next step of continued growth in MMA out there in Mexico and Latin America?
Yeah, it went really well down there. The combine that they did, and basically the team that worked down there on the combine came back and told me, holy shit, wait till you see what's going to happen down here in the next couple of years, which I already knew. Yeah, it's incredible. I'm really looking forward to the future with Mexico. Thank you.
Talk a little bit about that last 10 seconds with Justin and Max. You saw a little bit of that with Jim Miller and Bobby Green, and Jim Miller obviously didn't get it done tonight, but this historic streak of 100, 200, 300, how impressive is like his longevity and what he did?
Yeah, great point. And again, two more warriors that went out tonight and just went for it. And yeah, he was on a bad receiving end of that Bobby Green fight. I just saw a picture of him in the hospital right now. His face is not good. Yeah, there's going to be some people that are sore over the next couple of weeks, man. Everybody showed up tonight.
And I talked to Islam Makhachev a few weeks ago, and he was very adamant. He just wanted to fight June 1st. He didn't care who. Did you have the Poirier fight done coming into tonight, or was there a possibility if one of these lightweight fights went smooth and those guys wanted to turn around, were they in the running?
There were a couple other options, yeah. We were looking at other people too.
And I appreciate you dropping PFL into our actually point out.
Yeah, thank you.
David, to your right.
Yeah.
The pacing of all the way over to
Hi.
Hi there. The pacing of the show was a little bit different tonight, and I suspect it's because you had an enormous level of advertisers that were being crammed into the broadcast. Can you compare maybe 200 to where you are now and how different it is?
How did you feel the pacing was different than regular?
It felt a little bit slower.
Really?
It felt a little bit slower, but then you.
I had them. Have you ever been to a boxing event, man?
Yes, listen.
There's fucking 45 minutes to an hour between fights. The walk-in is an hour and 15 minutes. The list goes on and on. I thought that the pace of the show tonight was just like any other night. Obviously, we have advertisers and commitments that we have, but we keep a pretty fast pace when we do fights.
But in retrospect, how do you feel about the difference between, let's say, 200 and 300, and how much easier it is to be in the marketplace as UFC, as a combat sports operation, and having those kind of partnerships? I mean, it hasn't been that long ago where you couldn't even go to New York City.
No, you're right. And it took, when I was talking about Power Slap has been around for 14 months. They have more sponsors than UFC did in 7 years. So obviously, the early days of building this company in the sport are a lot different than today. I mean, and that's one of the biggest pieces of growth for the company has been sponsorship. It's massive and continues to grow.
Just one more for me. So we're talking about how UFC in the Sphere for Mexican Independence Day weekend. Recently, Matchroom has floated the idea of perhaps bringing Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano as a rematch into the Sphere, maybe as early as June. How do you feel about that? And I know that it's been a big deal to be the first combat sports operation to go into the Sphere.
I love Eddie Hearn. I consider him a friend. Ain't happening. Sorry, Eddie. Love you, buddy. You can go in the Sphere in October.
Dana, down here, you said earlier this week that you think that in the future, eventually you would be able to top this event because you have a history of topping your biggest events. Do you think after seeing tonight that that's going to be possible?
That's a great question, brother. And here we are again. I say this all the time. How do we beat 300? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but we're going to find out.
You were very generous with the news of 301, 302, and 303. Any update on 304, which is potentially looking for New York?
Which is the UK fight? Yeah, no, we have nothing done yet, but I pretty much said it already. We're going to Manchester. We don't have the deal done. We don't have anything done yet, but we're going to Manchester. And let me just remind you all what it's like to be in Manchester. One of the greatest events that I've ever been to was when we first went into Manchester. That place is awesome. The fans, the crowd, I'm looking very forward to that.
You mentioned, obviously, that time it was 2:04, I believe, but that was at 3 o'clock in the morning. Will it be at a normal time in the UK?
We don't have a deal done yet. I don't know anything yet. Thank you.
They have currently Willie and Yen's fight attract over 30 billion views social media back in China. From your perspective, 30 billion views among social media. So from your perspective, how big does the fight, impact to the Asian market?
Great question. Sir, where are you from?
From China.
I figured that, but where are you from? Okay, got it. So, nobody knows better than you how hard it is to trend #1 in China, right? We've been #1 for 2 days trending in China.
Exactly.
Which is unbelievable. And yes, this was a massive sporting event in China. This is like the first time we've done well in China. This is the first time we've really broken through in China. And like, I didn't know the 30 billion. So thank you. Yeah, it's been incredible. Yeah.
Just follow up with the questions like, probably not this year, but how soon you want to bring the UFC back to China after?
Yeah, somebody asked me that earlier. I don't know exactly when we're heading back there, but a night like tonight doesn't hurt, and yeah, it's all good. I'm excited.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, sir.
Last one right here.
One more, last one.
Right here.
So-
I want to ask you about the in entertainment environment with the bracelets and everything that went on, the wrists and everything like that with the lights going along with the show, the atmosphere and stuff like that. What did you make of it?
I made it. What's the question? What did I make of it? I made it.
In terms
That's
of
what we
like,
do.
your
I-
expectation versus the reality of it.
It was awesome. So you know what I did during one of the fights? People always ask me this question. I watch the monitor. I watch very little of the actual live. I'll look it up every once in a while, and I'm on my phone the whole fucking time. People think I'm like I don't give a shit about the fights. All I care about is the production, the live production in-house, and the television production. So tonight, I left during one of the fights and came back to my green room and watched it. We have a big screen back there, and I watched it on TV. And with the lights and all, it was incredible. It looked incredible on TV. Just like I always say about Power Slap and obviously UFC, the production is incredibly important to me. It's the only things that I really focus on a daily basis is finding young up-and-coming talent, making sure we put on the right fights in the right place at the right time, and in-house live television production in-house production and live television production. So that's what I focus on literally every day in the office, and other little bullshit here and there, but that's my main focus. So when we have an event like tonight, and you look at young talent that's on the card tonight, how they performed, how the thing looked in-house and how it felt, the energy and the buzz, and how it looked on television, right? And then you look at the fights that delivered tonight. You couldn't have a bigger fucking home run than tonight. So,
And
I hope I answered your question.
You did. And a quick follow-up about Dreykus. You've seen it in the crowd and everything like that. Do you have any plans of where you're gonna have him, who he's gonna fight, if it's gonna be Izzy or the winner of Whitaker, Chimaev, anything like that?
We're working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.